The good news, I guess, is that the heat kills like microorganisms and stuff, right? That's how that works, if I remember science and biology. And
That's what they say.
that's what I'm just checking. We're not going to go into all that too deep. Just making sure that where I'm at, it's hot enough to kill stuff because it is killing stuff left and right. Anyway, but yeah, a great week. Did a lot of interesting things. Hey, I went full hippie. You know, they say do not go full hippie. I went full hippie. I'm doing some tie-dyeing. It took me, a lot of years before I finally jumped into the full hippie pool, but I'm there and I'm loving it. And I have blue fingers right now. But hey, that's part of it, I guess, as well. Shout out to Mr. Tie-Dye, my new friend, who did a live stream not too many days ago. So yeah, go check out his channel. If you're into tie-dyeing, I definitely recommend the gentleman's work is amazing. And he has some interesting methodology compared to some of the other people out there. So, and that's something you'll figure out if you get into it as well. Everybody has their own best way to do it, their best way to dye, their best way to fold a shirt, and everybody's got their thing. So I'm learning. We'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know when I figure out how to do the half of a FE map and fold it in half and get it to double up. I still haven't mentally made that work yet. But yeah, great week so far. And here we are on Friday, all the way here. And what about you, sir, Josh? How was your weekend? Hot, got you.
Oh, it was all right. Pretty uneventful. I had yesterday off of work, which is nice. So I got a few things accomplished, I guess. Yeah, really, it's been real quiet. I plan on going out to the woods tomorrow morning. First thing, grab the boy and head out. So that'll be much needed and long anticipated. I see we are finally now streaming to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Twitter account, and our DLive account, and also, starting this morning, a Twitch account. Only because I can. But yeah, no. I do see that we're not streaming to anybody but Twitch at the beginning.
Okay. I didn't think so, but again, I'm new to the software, so I didn't want to make anybody panic too soon, but I was seeing that we weren't everywhere like we thought we were. But we're there now.
I was playing around with it and accidentally went live when I didn't mean to go live. I was trying to record and hit stream instead of record, and it was putting stuff out. So I had to go through and I just shut stuff off manually.
So 4 a.m. type
so
stuff.
It wouldn't happen again, and forgot to turn them back on when I actually wanted to go live. So ain't that the way. But I think we've got it all situated now.
I think we're there. And good morning to you if you're listening or hanging out or somewhere. I see some folks here in the TFR chat already. Good morning. Diva just popped in. I was about to say good morning to Salamo. I see Daz is here already. Man, you keep hanging out so early like this. We're going to get you in here on the show, Daz. I'm just warning you. It's been too long that you've been saying you're going to come hang out and talk to us. And now here you are, 4 a.m, or at least for me. Could hang out with us on the air. Just saying. And good morning to Douglas Falk, author of The Voyage, also in chat. Glad to have you here, Douglas. Hope things are going better than when I spoke to you last. I know family matters and health issues are weighing heavily on you, my friend. So sending lots of prayers and lots of positivity to you and to the family, for sure. Now, on the other stuff, it'll take me a minute to get there and find you guys and tell you all hi. But, the Iron Scouts at TFR got it first so far.
Well, I do see Arwen in chat trying to figure out just which chat we're freaking talking about. We got so many of them
we are
these
multi-chatters.
Days. That's right. With Restream, it shows all of my chats with the exception of TFR, but I see basically any messages that would come through all get consolidated onto a stream here on Restream that just docks right into my OBS. So it's all integrated into OBS. I have chat, all my different streams, so I can shut them off individually. Like I see somebody right now is watching over on Twitch. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, YouTube. We have 8 viewers on YouTube. Arwen, Daz, Diva's there, Brian's there. Apparently there's no sound coming through over on the TFR side.
Yeah, I was afraid of that from what I was dealing with here, flicking and popping around on my computer, because I'm not hearing anything there at the page, but that seems to be a all too often occurrence, unfortunately, there with that particular page. So we usually send folks over to iHeartRadio or to our TFR page. I mean, our YouTube page. My goodness. Where's that coffee?
Where is that coffee? Good.
Anyway,
God.
so yeah, we're somewhere and talking to somebody. Arwen hears us. So, hi, Arwen. How are you?
And good morning to Nicholas Bishop as well.
Nice. What's up, Nick? I'm still trying to get to the chats. So
yeah, in my boredom yesterday, I was telling Zack earlier that I did buy a little bit of software, a bit of kit to add to our collection. I watched the video and it seemed like it worked pretty good, so I thought I'd give it a shot, and it was only like $30 for the, introductory price, as long as you get in.
Are we going to have an intervention, Josh?
I don't think so. Dixie pretty much asked me the same thing. Asked me if I was
Are
just
you
depression.
a software junkie?
If I was just depression buying. I don't think so. Although this one I may want to upgrade just because it gives me a few more options. But I was inspired. By Stephen Hawking. And I thought, as great as that is, surely there's been some upgrades to the text-to-speech. So I decided to get a little bit of text-to-speech software. And this is what it came up with. Maybe you guys heard it, and maybe you didn't. No, not you.
You're listening to The Ironworks on TFR. Break clear of the fear.
Now, who would have thought that is not a real person?
well, I was going to ask you who that was because I couldn't place the voice to be anyone's voice in our little circle of friends and family that I would have known. And right at the very last second, it was really strange that it almost sounded a bit like our good friend. I don't know. What's her name again? MK Ultrachild? Yeah.
Ella.
So I was wondering if that was somehow, some kind of program or somebody imitating her. So apparently the program imitates her. That's crazy.
How dare you! You're listening to The Ironworks on TFR. Break clear of the fear.
But still, I thought that was really good for an AI
No,
computer-generated voice.
really. I didn't know until that. I thought it was her, somebody imitating her at least, So, yeah,
Well, that was
crazy.
That was their deal. You shouldn't know that it's a AI-generated
I
voice.
did not. You got me. You got me, robot. So apparently growing pains are working out. There's a story. We'll probably talk about it here in a bit. AI and its growing pains as it grows and morphs and changes.
She has any relation to John Savage?
Ha.
We'll have to find out later this evening.
So there's a somebody in chat over there on YouTube says, "Adios, douche frequency. Hello, PooTube." The chat censors at TFR caused me to leave. Also, the lack of decent shows and the goofy ads. By the way, did you know Shih Tzu Boogaloo too?
We did indeed.
But welcome. We are glad to be here, be everywhere. It is Friday, my dudes. It's here somewhere.
It's Friday, my dudes.
There it is. So we actually have a little bit of space lettuce, believe it or not. I went through yesterday, pulled some stuff. I saw, Walt, you were pulling a few things as well.
I did. Before this goes too far, I see we have Salamo again. I said, hey, already probably. Hello, Salamo. I need to get in touch with you because apparently I have a time bubble surrounding me that has affected my computer. I am a minute ahead of my co-hosts here on the air and have been since I returned from Oregon, where I existed in a time morphing field of some sort that made time completely irrelevant and just unimportant. It didn't work. Nothing, like literally everybody in that house had things where, now I understand we were all going through a very traumatic situation with my mom, but even the people who weren't in the room with her day and night, like my brother and sister and I were going through this thing where they would go, okay, so today we have to da-da-da-da, and we'd be like, wait, that all was supposed to happen tomorrow. You missed that meeting or that whatever appointment. constantly in that household, we lost all track of, and literally days of time would go by for one or two people at a time. And that would happen too, where somebody upstairs and somebody downstairs would both think it was 2 different days and know it was that day. So yeah, time apparently is just, maybe that's part of the reset. Maybe as we approach the reset, not only do the plasma fields change and the electromagnetic fields change, but the temporal fields apparently become quite malleable. I don't know, but definitely time does not seem to be like it was before 2020 started. So I said all that to say I'll be getting in touch with you later, so I'm going to figure out why my damn computer's running a minute ahead of time and causing me issues.
Yeah, that's weird. I thought all computers were on like the same clock.
Right, they all run off of that piece of the meteor somewhere in the underground vault that all decays at the same time or something. Right, nada, exactly. All right. Apparently, we need to link up our other chats for some people here. That would be Salamo and other people. Hello, We Think. Glad to have you here with us this morning. And I see Liz, our Iron Maiden, has joined us on the TFR chat. I still have not made it over to the other chats. So, yeah, it's one of those mornings for me, struggling as I am in the future, trying to keep up with stuff and make sure you guys know what's coming ahead of time.
Break clear of the fear.
Uh-oh. Did I kill myself here?
No.
Oh, okay, because I was closing stuff, trying to get back to a chat that I could talk to people with, and I was afraid I had closed the Skype call. I've done it. It has happened. It has indeed happened.
Break clear of the fear.
Oh, my goodness, we're driving Liz crazy. She's lost her spanner on YouTube. What?
No.
What? No, indeed, because we are the only people who can take or give spanners. If somebody in YouTube land has been messing with our spanner base, then we're going to have a problem.
I don't even see her.
What the hell is going on with the world? Disappearing spanners, time traveling computers. What's going on in the world?
Huh.
Gretel. God, sure, Hansel and Gretel. That's it. Sure. Gretel sounding computer voices. Oh, man.
Well, they have other accents, too.
Break clear of the fear.
Oh, I see a vast array of supporting characters heading our way soon.
And see, it was the possibilities that got me with this software. Not necessarily just the standard type out a paragraph and have it narrate a video for me, but I saw lots of different possibilities.
We could have a young Stephen Hawking argue with an old Stephen Hawking.
We certainly could.
We could.
I don't think I've ever heard.
Should we? Just because we could, should we? It's kind of that science question. Just because we could. Is that something we should? All right, I have finally made it over to the Friday's First Light. Goodness, not TFR. YouTube, one of those chats. Good morning, chat. I see you there. I'm not going to start naming names because I know that takes a minute. But I am here. I don't see you anywhere either.
No, I didn't even see your name in the YouTube chat. That was weird. Oh, it's raining again. I feel so bad for you, Liz. I mean, it is drove Dell beyond the imaginary curve. Crazy, the weather. Oh, and congratulations. She ate her very first homegrown potatoes yesterday. Wow, that is so early.
That's awesome. I bet you those were some of the best tasting potatoes. Never knew the intricacies of the potato tastes until you grow your own. Say, wow, that tastes completely different than a store-bought potato. Unless it tasted exactly like a store-bought potato, then I'm just talking out my ass.
I have to do something. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying they do taste different. At least all the stuff I grew, it does. It just there's something to it. It's like you put a little bit of yourself in there.
It really is. I ate when we had that first green pepper from the garden. It was obviously a garden-grown pepper, not a store-bought. You can definitely, I don't know if it's like you're tasting the earth, the good nutrients that came from, I don't know what it is, but there is definitely something very unique and different about a homegrown pepper versus a store-bought pepper, or really any vegetable.
It's true. It's always true. Like you say, it's the energy, it's the love. It's definitely a difference.
Yeah, it's just like the
with tomatoes,
peanut butter
same thing.
jelly. Yeah, peanut butter and jelly your mom made for you when you were young. Nobody can make a peanut butter and jelly taste that good.
I find that it does help having anybody else.
Intent.
Anybody else making a sandwich makes a sandwich taste better.
Anybody else
making a sandwich.
Yeah,
As long as
it's
you don't
true.
have
It's
to
always tastier. Or if you make it for somebody else, taste it. Like, make a sandwich for your wife and then take a bite and go, damn, that's really a tasty sandwich. Yeah, something about what you put in it. I don't know. When you're just making it for yourself as like, I got to eat, I'm hungry, sustenance quick, it doesn't taste nearly as good as when you're making it for somebody else and they offer you a bite of it or something like that. Anyway, we have about 5 minutes left, and I want to address this before it goes away, if you don't mind.
Do it.
Arwen in chat mentioned that, well, let me just read his chat. Why do people on morphine typically go through a character change over time? And why are those people saying they feel like they're entering a hellish parallel dimension? Well, that is an interesting question. And I definitely watched that happen with Mother as she was getting closer to the end, and we had to go to the morphine, which I did not in any way want to ever give her, but I knew at some point would be required. And unfortunately, as we progressed those medications, that definitely was a thing that happened. She did change her whole demeanor, her whole, like, everything. I mean, she even, to the point that she actually, I don't even know what the word for it is, but started viewing herself outside of herself. Because for like 2 weeks, or going on a week and a half, she kept talking about the little girl's hungry. We got to go get her we got to get the little girl dressed. We need to take the little girl outside, all this stuff. And we kept saying, there's no little girl around here. And finally, like I said, about a week and a half in, we realized she was talking about herself. So definitely that is something I've seen up close and personal, watched it happen. Now, that whole entering another dimension and seeing the things we're not seeing and all that, the average person would just say, oh, they're just really on some heavy drugs and imagining and seeing things. And no, I don't think so. There were energetic changes in that room, in that house, when she started taking those medications. So the fact that, people that are like on morphine to live, morphine to deal with their pain, junkies who are on heroin, in the same room reporting all having a similar experience of some demon over in the corner. We've had James True on here talking about that very thing. People in the recovery industry or in the recovery field or whatever talk about patients on the same medications all having similar creatures in the room and things like that. So we're going to have a gentleman on our Have No Sphere show on the 13th of July. He was on Beth Martin's not too long ago. His name is Jerry Marzinski. He is well versed in this. He's worked in the psychiatry field for some number of years, and in his time dealing with people both on medication, not on medication, schizophrenic, that type of thing, came to realize that there's a whole nother level to these voices that control people, to these entities that are there when these drugs are in effect. It's almost like the old thing of alcohol being called spirits for a reason. Well, I think these drugs definitely open up portals in your energy field that allow things to attach themselves and feed off of that energy that is created by this horrible, horrible fucking drug.
Well, yeah,
From my
spirit.
experience.
comes from, like an alchemical term. It goes way back to where you're pulling the alcohol out of the plant, but alchemically, it's also the bridge between your soul and your body, the matrix, the salt. In your soul, the soul of the plant would be considered the oil, and then this is like the connection between it. So yeah, that makes total sense. That it's allowing you to connect to maybe another entity somehow.
Right.
Just
right.
stuff.
And it has to change your frequency as well when you have this in your system.
Oh, yeah.
It has to change what you're giving off and what notices your energy suddenly in the void out there, because again, I think these things are all around us all the time. It's just either you do something that brings their attention to you, or you fuck around with shit you shouldn't, and suddenly you got, bad stuff after you. Or, you just here to kick their ass, if that's part of it. But anyway, I digress. Certainly, thank you for the question, Arwen. And I'm sorry, I got lost reading this thing. If your fourth dimensional self is not properly protecting your spiritual gateway on the other side, that your vessel might be tapped into and used by other entities from within that fourth dimension. Certainly, I don't doubt that at all. I've had many times when I've been out and about astral projecting and get back to the room, and there's quite a bit of activity going on around the bedroom. So I don't doubt that changes in your frequency.
I'm not remembering, but I've been having very vivid dreams, like every single night. Those ones where you wake up and you can only remember it for about 10 seconds, but it's like...
Right.
Yeah, you you were dreaming for sure.
Yeah,
I've had those.
Dream work is heavy right now, and big time. I've noticed it too.
So I guess we're in break.
Are we? I can't tell anymore.
Says we're muted.
Yeah, well, mine said that for like a minute and a half now.
Yeah. I don't even know if we are muted or not.
I don't know. I don't know if they're hearing us or we're hearing a commercial or they're hearing a commercial. We could have a commercial. This afternoon on YouTube, on the Iron Realm Media channels. I have no spaceship. Look, I blew it. I completely lost it. Oh, my goodness. I know they hear us on the other formatted places that we're on. So enjoy the after the commercial. I mean, behind the scenes, after commercials, whatever it is. I'm trying to read some of this chat over here again, and I'm playing catch up.
Has Salamo done anything?
Wow.
Recently?
Apparently Liz has gone back to YouTube, and she is not there for us. What the hell? Log in and out of YouTube, Liz. I don't know. I don't see her there. I've gone over there twice.
That's weird. I didn't see her in any of the lists.
Name pop up yet?
That's really weird. The hell's going on these days?
Well, Jason's here. I just saw. What's up, Jason? Glad to have you back and around, my friend. It's been a minute. Jason of the Disbury family, for those of you not on the YouTube chat.
Welcome, Jason. Yeah, so I guess there's a minute left of commercial breaks that aren't happening on TFR. So we'll just talk through commercial breaks like they're not even happening.
Well, I mean, at this point...
is a commercial over on TFR.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Apparently there is commercials playing on TFR.
Well, then why aren't we hearing anything?
That's a real good question.
Since we are hosting a live show and things, it'd be something we probably need to be clued in on. Just a thought. Just a thought, Chris. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We got about 14 seconds.
LC King.
Do it, Zach. What?
LC King. His last video. Mind blowing. Just alchemy galore. natural alchemy. It's just, it made everything kind of click. I don't get it yet, but I comprehend how. All right, I'll shut up. Sorry. Kind of click.
No, that's all right.
I don't get
I'm kind of hoping
it
I'm going to
yet.
come over here to log into the actual YouTube and see if I can't find Liz in there somewhere.
I'm looking at it now.
I don't know. That's really weird. It's a weird, weird morning. Like I see Nemo in chat there, but I must have missed him on the other one. Nope, there he is. Wakey, wakey, stupid early. Holidays, no worky. Word. Holidays, no worky.
Work. Welcome back to the Ironworks. Josh, Walt, Zack, trying to figure it out as I go traveling through the temporal regions, and we are definitely not aware of where we are or what we're doing. Yes, Liz, we know we're on the air. We're just struggling with no actual clue of, time or radio breaks or any of that stuff. But hey, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. That's what we do.
You're listening to The Ironworks on TFR. Break clear of the fear.
Just in case.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this, I think. Just think how many conversations we could have.
How dare you!
We got to start making characters now.
Sorry.
Indeed.
I'm just goofy this morning.
Good morning, Utility Belch TV. Love that name. I think we already said hey to Nicholas Bishop. Man, that name rings a bell. Nicholas must have been an old friend of the show and hasn't been around for a while. Hello, Nicholas. Glad to have you back around. But that just rings a bell. Jason, like I said, glad to have you. We said hey to LC King. Did I say hey to Anders Zace? Anders Zace? I always say that so wrong. Hello, Anders Zace. You said hello to Nemo, but I'll say hello to Nemo. Hello to Nemo. Did we find Liz yet? I'm really just covering a minute while you're looking for Liz. Did we say hey to Brian? The Brian Gasca in chat. Missed you earlier, my friend. Glad you're there. I think I've said hey to everyone. Diva, Belch, Arwen. If I missed you, just forgive me. It's not that I don't love you. It's that I didn't see you. You could be like Liz. You could be somewhere between the void. Like Shadow Band, apparently. Vagabond as well. I'm all the way at the beginning of the chat this morning, so glad to see you all, guys. Love it. Thank you all for being here and putting up with all of our fun technical wimmy bimmies, because we are full of them this morning. For sure.
So we got to talking about Teespring on Wednesday. And I was
Yes,
over in
we
Teespring.
did. I saw
around.
You got all creative, sir.
And I saw there was an option to make face masks and design some face masks. So I got the old creative juices flowing a little bit, at least dripping at the very least. And made up a few masks in case your state governor is going to be out there violating the rights of the people of your state. Then you can have a mask to go on too. And I made one. The first one I made was just kind of a throwback to James True. It says, humanity is not a virus, right on your mask. So you can wear it proudly and remind everybody that humanity is not a virus. But then I got to thinking about some other things I could do, because it did take images on there as well. So I made one that had a ball gag just for shits and giggles. Just to see what it would look like, to see how well it would look. I don't know that it turned out as well as I'd hoped. But then I got a little bit creative and inspired by They Live.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So I made one that's got a zipper on it, like where the mouth would be, like your mouth has been zipped closed. But then on the mask it says obey, consume, conform, and
Love it.
submit.
That's my favorite one, man. I love it. I love it. I went and played around with it, but it's technical. Every time I would do a certain thing, it kept glitching on me. I have to figure out what it is. We'll play with it for sure. Before you know it, we'll have all kind of crazy masks for you. And I'm glad you put that on it, because I was very reluctant to even go there, because it's like, fuck that. I'm not going to even play around with this, you know? So, but yeah, if you are in those states that are requiring it, apparently, like I just saw Oregon has now gone full on, like you have to have it, period, if you're out of your house. So I would probably stay in trouble if I was still there. So far here, knock on laminate, that hasn't happened in Louisiana, but with this next wave on us, I guess it will be coming soon.
Yeah. I did struggle too, because there was even one that I had up there I was considering was what silence is consent, or silent acquiescence, or something like that. But I kind of figured that the consent came in the actual wearing of the mask.
Nah, let's do it. Let's load them up. Oh, look, I was going through the back chat just to see if I had missed anybody to say hello to, and Nicholas Bishop was on an Iron Realm show at the beginning of the channel a few years ago and has been listening for quite a while. See, sometimes the old brain cells do kick in some past knowledge. Glad to have you around, sir. Appreciate you hanging out and staying around.
Heck yeah.
Or, you know. It's early, late. I don't even know where you are, so I'm assuming it's early there. It may be late in the afternoon, but we appreciate it. For sure. Come hang out with us this afternoon. We have a lot planned.
We do.
Man, do we have a lot planned.
We've managed to do it again, where we've double booked the guests.
Well, we figure go from none to all.
Right. Why not?
One extreme to the other.
Well, and again, it's Fridays off. Right, it's a holiday weekend, so I don't have work tonight, so I'll have plenty of time to get stuff together before the show. So ideally, it'll be like
maybe
a two-parter.
Start even earlier.
You know, I considered that, but our first guests, I know, are doing a live stream immediately before ours. So they were going to try to wind theirs down right around 11 GMT. And then they could just kind of roll right over into ours. So we could probably start off maybe a little bit early, kick off around, 10:30 or something, and just kind of relax and let them take their time getting in. I don't know. We'll see. But we have Roxanne Glenn, the globalist denier, coming back with Mamacita for the first couple hours of the show.
The one-wheeled warrior. If you have not had a chance to see the videos and have only heard her story here with us right here, then definitely you want to come check it out. We told her we'd give her the platform so she could come actually show the videos she was able to capture while she was out rolling through the police checkpoints. So, yeah, we're going to check that out this afternoon first. Now, that's first. Stage one, or part one, I guess.
Sure.
But then, as always, we have double booked.
That's right, and we're going to have the great Baldini back on. And he will be bringing with him Red Fox.
Red Fox.
Not the dead comedian, though. Just for the record. It will be a live person who goes by Red Fox. And Red Fox is one of those guys that sort of immediately had a vibe that resonated with me. There was just something about him that I've been really wanting to get him on and just to talk to him and see what kind of things he's into. I just think that would be a really good conversation. There was something that just resonated with me. So I'm going to be really excited to have Red on. They've been talking about some pretty interesting things over on his channel, he and the great Baldini, as it relates to resonant frequencies and tones and music and all sorts of good stuff. So we'll probably get into that a little bit. Who knows what the hell we'll talk about with those two? Because they are just a wealth of information.
Polarity. And I have some questions for Baldini. I think there's ways you could send information without anybody seeing, unless you have this Polaroid filter, like running through your actual digital cable wire. The
You're talking about
the fiber optic.
polarizing?
Yeah,
Polarizing
like
the
a little
digits?
lens where
The actual bits of information, the ones and zeros, to actually polarize them?
they do it with audio. So I'm sure they can do it with any other frequency. Yeah, there are certain frequencies that'll cancel things out. And then if you put that little Polaroid filter on there, it re-engages it. And that information's then allowed to flow through again.
Interesting.
Crazy stuff.
That is
Yeah,
interesting.
it just dawned on me. I was like, if they do it with audio, well, I didn't even know they could do it with audio. I went and asked Cammie, and she asked Baldini. Yeah. So yeah, they're with a little. You could send information to somebody else with, if you guys have the both things tuned just right, the little lenses. You could send information back and forth that nobody else would be able to see unless they had that frequency tuned correctly. I don't know. Something worth playing with.
Definitely, that's interesting.
And frightening.
Yeah, that was the first time I said it aloud.
For abuse that it brings. And I mean, it's not like they haven't been able to mess with us in that kind of way for some time now. I mean, I was just recently playing a lot of catch up on Martin's channel, Martin Lika, and John Levy's channel, or Levi. Is it Levy or Levi?
I think it's Levi, but I'm not sure.
Levi. Okay. Well, anyway, love his work as well. In fact, recently on one of his videos, invited him to get in touch with us. So hopefully we'll be hearing from him soon. But anyway, I found one of the recent ones for me. It's probably a year old, if not more, because again, Martin has a vast output of content to just get lost in for days. But there were these pictures of devices that would have channeling. It would be like channeling sound from outside of a big building and channel it up through all these tubes to this little area where you could listen. But so basically somebody in a big, a controller, if you will, inside this building could hear everything that people would be saying as they walk by outside on the street or on the road or wherever the outside part of the building was. And it was just pretty nuts. And you could tell from the drawing or the engraving or whatever that it was quite an ancient idea that had been around and being used for some time now. And the same thing turned around backwards. They could speak into it and they would carry their voice out, I'm sure. So, yeah. They've been paying attention to what we do for quite a long time and playing with our minds. But that's just my opinion. That could be wrong. What's the patent
Crazy
number?
guy.
I can't remember.
Radio.
What was that, Zach?
So we're just crazy guys that let talk on the radio.
Right? What the hell do we know? Not a damn thing.
Yeah, Baldini is a very wise man. Just his background, 30 years in the music industry and whatnot, the audio side of it. Yeah, he knows all kinds of technical stuff about all that. I'm going to have fun picking his brain one of these days when I start getting into that stuff more. Got to stay focused on one thing, though. I saw Ken Wheeler did a video where he put magnets south side facing up underneath his plants. And he says that he's done all the testing. It's like the same thing THC Anthony or Hemp Alchemy on YouTube now. Same thing when he was germinating his seeds. He would put them on the south side of a magnet. And it had 100% germination or like 99.8 something crazy like that.
Huh.
But yeah, I was thinking about putting those in my gardens, just a bunch of little south-facing magnets facing up.
That'd be interesting to see what happens.
Or do half one side, half the other, nothing.
Huh.
I have control of the light and everything. There's so many variables. It'd be hard.
It'd be hard, but it'd
But,
be interesting.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't trust Ken Wheeler, but I don't trust anybody I don't know, never spoke to. But he says he's done all the tests and all that kind of stuff, and he says this is the one where if you want he said it's different. If you put the north up and it's a tomato plant, the tomato will be more acidy. And if you put the south facing up, the plant will grow bigger and it'll have a lot more hairs on it. So yeah, I don't know. It's worth looking into, at least playing around with.
Heck yeah, I'd be interested to see how that works. Well, Daz in chat suggests we find a topic and stick to it for a minute. Actually, because it happens so rarely, and I just happened to see it, why not take a call? And I see we have a caller right now. I'm pretty sure I know who this is. Coming out of Anaheim, California. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Ironworks.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Anaheim. Hello.
Hello.
What is Anaheim?
What is Anaheim? What is in Anaheim? Indeed.
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
How we doing?
What's up, boys?
Good morning.
My
Can you hear
friend.
us? We can hear you. Are you hearing us?
Can you hear me?
I hear
Can you
you
hear me?
wonderfully, Brian. How are you doing?
Good. Good. Doing a lot better.
This is Brian Gasca, for those of you who might not recognize the voice. You've seen him in many chats, and this is the man himself. How are things been going for you, Brian? How's everything out there on the left coast?
Ooh. Mentally effed. But just trying to deal with shit,
Yeah, aren't we all? Are you
Oh.
masked mandated yet?
Oh. For about a month and a half, yeah.
Really?
And now we have to where I work, like we have to wear the mask and gloves. And I'm like, normally, like during when I have to wear the mask, like I can't breathe, honestly. I mean, I told my fucking supervisor, no, sorry for that word, but
It's all right.
I told my supervisor, like, I can't breathe, but he's like, you got to do it. And I'm like, all right. So, honestly, it makes me want to puke.
Makes me feel dirty. All that recycled air.
Yeah, I don't comprehend how they can do this with it being a health risk itself. We want you to stop doing this health risk and start doing this health risk instead.
Utility Belts
You
TV
know.
in chat really nailed it. He says the litigious society is a ripe environment for mask propaganda. And this is my my main issue. Growing up, I was always told, that the Civil War wasn't really fought over slavery. I mean, that wasn't like the main issue. It was like a states' rights thing, one of which maybe included for some people the right to own slaves. But for a lot of people, it was just about that autonomy, the ability for a state to make its own decisions and not want to be ruled over by some federal governing body. And that's what the fight in the Civil War was really about. It's not about the entire South wanting to own slaves. There was a small percentage that owned them that were fighting for that, but mostly it was about the ability to make their own decisions without the federal government coming in and making the decisions for them. And that's what the Civil War was fought over. And when I see this mask propaganda going out there and all these governors, quote unquote, mandating masks in public spaces, I just don't see how that's enforceable. How are you going to go into a public library and make somebody wear a mask? What are you going to arrest them for it? They didn't break any law. Just because they didn't listen to some arbitrary mandate issued by some guy that's wearing the hat of governor doesn't necessarily mean that it's now law. So if you're not doing it, I don't see how they can cite you, fine you, jail you, do anything. Except,
let me read a little something. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
It's close. I was going to say the only thing they can do is pressure you through your peers. And that's the really dangerous thing I see. These ADA cards that people, well, a lot of people in the truth community have been whipping out for months now, saying, look, I've got an emotional or physical condition that means I cannot wear this face covering, so sorry. And you're not allowed to ask me what that condition is or really anything about it. Just have to accept the fact that I'm disabled and there's not much you can do about it or face some severe penalties and fines. But even now, my wife was telling me that people are being ridiculed for pulling out these ADA cards as a way to not wear a mask. And they're just being pressured and pushed into feeling bad and feeling guilty because they don't want to wear a mask. And just like that the first Civil War wasn't really fought over slavery, I don't think the second Civil War was really fought over masks. But it was a good primer to get things kicked off. And I'm a little worried that all of these mandates are going to start the bullets flying because you can't enforce that kind of thing. That's all I got. Sorry, Walt, you were going to read something for us?
No, you're fine.
Okay, I was going to say for me.
Go ahead, Brian.
Honestly, I suffer from panic attacks at certain times. That's when I pop off and, seem like a fucking looney, in chat.
I know all about those panic attacks.
But honestly, since I've had to wear the mask, everything has been so fucked. Sorry again, but everything is so messed up.
Hey, no fucking problem, Brian.
Where but I mean, you understand, everything has intensified in my life to the point where I've always doubted myself, but now it's tenfold,
I think that's part of what they're doing with the masks. That's part of it. It's a mental thing as much as it is a physical thing. And when you know it's bullshit and you're not scared of any virus and they're making you do this thing that you hate, yeah, man, it's very understandable that you are very irritated all the time. And yeah, don't let them win with this one, man. I know it's got to be hard. I'm blessed. Even in public, I don't have to wear a mask because of my lungs. They're talking about these face shields now for people like me. People who say, hey, I have a disability, I can't. They want to tell them to wear a big giant face shield. I'm just going to start carrying my gas mask around everywhere. If I'm going to put something on, it's going to be something outlandish. I'll get a big clown wig to go with it or something. Yeah, try to make it fun. I know that sounds crazy, but if you have to, you have to work to eat. And if your job is telling you have to, yeah, try to make some fun out of it if you can. But don't let them break you with this. That's their goal, man. You're tough. You can do this.
I totally understand, but it's just all right. I love what I do. and I don't like. I don't like the corporate ways of my business where I work. But
Yeah.
But honestly, the best face mask I seen was a Boba Fett guy walking around.
That's pretty good.
That's like early
And
on. I saw footage of some girl on her way to some. I don't know if she was just wearing it to make a point that like what Zack is saying, or if she was on her way to a party or a cosplay or what. But she was in a full stormtrooper get up, like the whole gig, face, helmet, the whole 9 yards, and the cops literally took her to the ground. And she was like, "I've got a mask. I've got a fucking mask on." Yeah, it was nuts. And that was early. That was like probably the second week or third week of me being in Oregon. So that was back in March or April.
Okay, so where are the Ironworks face masks?
I'm working on it. That's what I was working on last night when my system kept giving me a weird glitch. I think what it is I'm trying to use a format that I'm just not a Photoshop-y guy, so I'm playing around with stuff I don't understand fully. Josh obviously has it down because he made 2 awesome ones, but I've already got it designed. I've just got to get something fixed on it. It should be there this afternoon.
Yeah. And if you guys have any good ideas, share
She
them.
beat me to it, yes. Any mask ideas. If you have to wear them, we'll make it fun. And we don't care. We have no limits to what we'll put on it for you. Well, within reason. We have to be approaching the commercial soon, so I don't know. It's on you, Josh. I'm going to let you take over now.
Yeah, it says we're on a commercial now already for me.
Yep, just hit, looks like.
All right, I have an idea. For a mask, but I'll wait. I'll mute myself, but I'll wait until after the break. All right.
Perfect. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Do they hear us, or do they hear the breaks on YouTube, or is
No.
it just dead?
No, they hear us.
They hear us talking right now.
I mean, do they hear break music though on YouTube?
Nope. If we don't
I
hear
think
it now,
I've inadvertently restarted the stream a couple times, trying to figure out how to get off the page I was on and find the chat on the restream. So my bad if I messed anything up.
nope, I think we're all good. Matter of fact, I might just hang up the Skype in the studio, and we'll just start this call again.
But
what?
Will we lose Brian?
yeah, that was my thing. I was thinking we won't have the call board or
Shouldn't.
anything.
Because I've got a button that just hangs up the Skype. I don't think... You know what? I don't know. I'll not do it just because I don't want to lose Brian.
Right.
I'm still here.
Yeah, we know you guys hear us talking during the break, and probably they hear us on TFR, but we can't hear if there's commercials even playing in the studio. So we really don't understand what's going on. So our apologies on how unprofessional this most likely sounds. But hey, it's Friday.
And we certainly could have sat here quietly throughout the breaks for the TFR listeners, but it would make the Facebook, the YouTube, well, how about YouTube and Twitch, the only 2 people with people watching, seem a little strange there with 3 minutes of silence. So we'll just talk through the commercial breaks, because why the hell not? It's only a 2-hour show. We can do that. We can spend 12 minutes extra talking.
Wow. So apparently the studio keeps joining and unjoining in the call. Are you seeing that?
No, let me see.
Twice I've looked over there and it says TFR studio join call. So what's that about? That could be why we're having trouble. It's that they can't connect to Skype for some reason.
Seems like it's always something.
Well, again, rare behind the scenes.
Well, we'll just go ahead and kick off with some music here in about 10 seconds.
What about it?
Why the hell not?
I'm not hearing us on TFR. I'm hearing just commercials.
Yeah, we should be muted, ideally.
Yeah, that would have been the way this should have worked since day one. However, it didn't, so we knew to be quiet.
Of course, now I still...
Thank you, Shadow Pants. Apparently on YouTube, you would never even know we're on TFR. So good thing we've dropped all sense of professionalism.
All right.
All right. I got an idea. All right.
All right. Give it to us. What you got?
The face mask, Iron Realm Media, flatten that curve.
Flattening
Right.
the curve since 2014.
Well,
I like it.
I mean, honestly, like what they're saying, like flatten the curve. First thing that popped into my head, flat Earth. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could put a globe on it. Have a globe like right by the mouth and then flatten the curve right over it. Like a double entendre.
Well, that was my joke. The first 2 or 3 weeks I was in Oregon was like, I'm so sorry, guys. All the people in Flat Earth, we are so sorry. We did not mean to wake so many people up that they had to pull this Corona thing. That was my joke for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden it started seeming like maybe this ain't a joke. When the flatten the curve thing started becoming their catchphrase, it was like, oh, okay, no coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like honestly,
Yeah,
like
bro,
I have
I
a
just-
good friend. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. Go ahead.
No, like I have a good friend that lives in a complex where I live, and he knows that I believe in the flat Earth. He's like, I don't want to hear about that shit. Let's talk about coronavirus. And then he's like, we have to flatten the curve. And I'm like, think about what you just said. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you could go see photos of everywhere, you know, like on the beach where they're shooting with like, you know, the fisheye lens.
Yeah. The GoPros.
And then and then I'm like, dude, look, if you go out there and shoot your phone looking at the beach, you're not going to see no curve. He's like, you're a fucking moron. And I'm like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, if I had $1 for every time somebody
Yeah,
called me stupid for thinking the Earth is flat, I'd have.
Oh yeah. But there's a lot more people that are waking up to it. Some people are just going to have to be told by their television. You know?
Okay, I got another story. My niece. And I was wearing It's Not Real, We Checked It t-shirt from Paul and the Plane.
Nice.
And my niece looked at me and she's like, what does that mean? She's like, what's not real? And I'm like, sit there and think about it for a moment, stew on it. And even though like a few months before I was wearing my Ironworks Iron Realm Media shirt that says, you know, the fuck, I'm trying to fucking blank right now.
No, it's early, man. It happens to us all the time. No curve.
No curve, no spin, it's flat. And she's like, "Oh, you're a flat earther." And then when she saw me wearing the Paul and the Flame T-shirt, she was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, we went to the moon." And I'm like, "Okay, who was the first person on the moon?" She's like, "Neil Armstrong." And I'm like, "Who took the photo of Neil Armstrong on the moon?" She's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Go back and watch it again. He had two hands on those railings. He was not holding a selfie stick. Yeah, who took the photo of them while the thing was flying away?
literally,
Move the camera.
if we were, literally, if I wasn't at work, I would have slapped her in the face. You know?
Yeah,
I
have nieces and nephews. They know my opinions, but their parents are so brainwashed as well. I mean, that's what it always. I mean, they live right by Lake Michigan. Their dad works on the lake at one of the steel mills and can see Chicago every single day, like more than he should. It's only maybe 15, 20 miles away, but there should still be, 120 feet blocking. And I'm sure he can see like everything from where he's at, his vantage point. Yeah, they just never took the time to actually look into it. They still haven't done it. They're still like we once were, The ones that get me the most are the ones that are flat earthers but won't admit it unless it's to another flat earther. On YouTube, behind a fake name with no picture, they can say the earth is flat. But say if they were sitting in a college dorm or a college lecture hall and the professor asks, who in here is a flat earther? I bet most of those people wouldn't raise their hand. Just because most of the other people aren't.
yeah. I mean, is that offensive to be a flat earther?
Not to some people.
To
some people, they just don't want to be different. That's just human nature to want to fit in and go with the largest mass. Now, me, I was always the kid that threw his hand up. I didn't care in school. I always said my opinion. But
yeah, I mean,
and then there was other people that would say, "Oh, go ahead."
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, in school, I would have conversations with my classmates about conspiracies and stuff. And they would, kind of be on board and opening their eyes and like, wow, that's wild. My big one back then was JFK. But as soon as, it was brought up in front of a large group of people, I was crazy. So, yeah, I mean, it's a spectrum. There's people that go along with it, people that maybe just agreed with me because we were alone and didn't want to disagree with me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was a little kid back in the 80s, I was big into, looking up, and I still do now. Looking at the stars and the moon and how the sun works.
Right.
I always question myself, is this real? Does it mean, even though, I was, a little boy, how could this be happening like this, you know?
Right. Oh, I still remember coming home from the teacher explaining about the globe and asked, because I had a map on my wall that was a flat map of North America and part of Canada and some of South America. And so this was a globe, and there were people upside down on it. And I remember her trying to explain to me how that could possibly work out. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And in school, same thing with different concepts that were thrown at us. And I kept like, this doesn't make sense, whatever. And that's way before I had a clue about any kind of flat earth. It was just strictly not logical to my brain. It didn't make sense, especially if you watched these things through your own telescope and binoculars, and it just didn't seem to add up. I can still remember asking every teacher about the cloud ring around the moon. Oh, well, that's just ice crystals, in the middle of summer. Well, it's a lot colder up there. Well, then why not want to see it during the wintertime? Lots of crazy stuff. Just didn't make sense in their model, even before I knew how freaking crazy and nonsensical it truly was, when I started actually studying orbits and the craziness of how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, I mean, with ice crystals, I mean, does that go into chemtrails? Like, I mean, honestly, like, I've been called crazy because I believe in chemtrails because I see them. Oh, they're just ice crystals. They're just planes flying through the sky.
I still remember, I think it was 94.
Go ahead.
1994, I saw for the first time, and I looked up, and because I always watched the Jets, and if they did have a stream, it would be 18 seconds, and that little line would dissipate. After I used to time it all the time. I was weird like that. I lived by Chicago, and they would be pretty high in the sky already, but they had a path where I could see them and just barely hear them. And yeah, once I saw my first chemtrail, I was like, wait a minute, what is that? Why does that plane have a long line behind it? And nobody seemed to care. Nobody like, oh, I've never noticed that before. I was like, no, it's not something that happens. What are you talking about before? It's never happened before. Yes, some people notice things. Some people, it's weird. It really is weird. I'm wondering now if they were actually seeing what I was seeing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember growing up back in the 80s and seeing those 18 seconds of fucking planes going. And you would do, or at least me and my friends would, in an open field, would just run. Okay, you pick a plane. Whatever plane wins, whenever or when you would run, you would pick a plane, and whenever the chemtrails, I'm using air quotes right now, would end, you lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm making some hot cider. I didn't want to be too loud. But yeah, I absolutely know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean...
Come on, Bubba.
Well, it's not even a conspiracy anymore. I mean, they've said, we're trying to block the sun. I mean, it's not even a theory or maybe. We've talked about it right here on the show that Harvard has admitted that they have a program in place to block sun with dispersal air, freaking chemtrails is what it is. It's chemtrails.
Yeah,
so, I mean, the fact that, it's not real, you're a crazy person. Well, just point them to the Harvard study and what they're doing, what they're actively doing.
High altitude aerosol dispersal units or something like that.
That's it.
If you want the technical. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're real. They've been doing it for a while. Long time. Openly. But if you look up chemtrail, you'll find, conspiracy theorists are crazy. If you look up high altitude aerosol dispersal units, you will find they've been doing it since like 1915 or something like that with high altitude balloons, testing what happens when they introduce new elements to the atmosphere. And now they bombard them with electrical frequencies and waves.
But okay, didn't they do that in Vietnam? The Ho Chi Minh Trail?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Weather manipulation.
It's super
Operation Popeye, right?
Mm-hmm. They actually overdid it to where they couldn't even travel. Messed up. Yeah, they messed up big time because they couldn't get all their transports through. Their supply line got stuck in the mud because it just would not stop raining. Well, our supply line, I should say, the U.S.'s supply line. Yeah,
I have want ads from like the 20s or 30s, maybe, where you can, in Oregon, where you could order whatever weather you needed. Just call the number and it spread some kind of crystals in the sky for you, and there you go, some rain. Nothing's new. It's all been done to us before, over and over and over. Just like this mask bullshit. This isn't new. Well, it could be, but look, I'll share this with you guys. I'll use it as part of the show description. This is a huge headline. Wear a mask. This is a big ad, I guess. It could save your life. This is an emergency that now confronts our city. It's beyond the facilities of the health department. This is from the Red Cross. They've come to the assistance of the Board of Health. Doctors and nurses cannot be obtained to take care of the afflicted. You must wear a mask, not only to protect yourself, but your children and your neighbors from the influenza, from pneumonia, and from death itself. A gauze mask is 99% proof against influenza and other little writing I can barely read on this ad that comes from the Berkeley Daily Gazette, Wednesday evening, October 21st, 1918. So in 1918, during the Spanish flu, shout out to our buddy Adam, they were getting people to mask up right there in Alameda County. I guess that's close to you out there, Brian. Oakland, and yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's even a little side banner. Flu masks can easily be made at home. Flu in quotation marks for some reason. Truth in advertising.
Now the NWO, the New World Order card game. Now I understand the pandemic card. Because it really didn't make as much sense before. Like pandemic, well, they're, small, isolated, this and that. No. They were talking about just worldwide. We'll all get together and do this all at the same time. Just crazy. Unprecedented. At least, to our knowledge, our current history. And look at all the people that are dying. If you go in and get put on a ventilator, you're most likely going to die unless you're real healthy. They're pretty much putting you into an induced coma for a month. And your brain activity just slowly dwindles away until your body dies. The drugs that they're putting these people on is like the stuff you get put under when you go and have surgery. It's insane. And they're just killing these people. And and then all the fake certificates. Everybody is dying. You get run over by a garbage truck and it's a COVID death. So are all these deaths in history just bullshit? All the numbers that we get?
Yeah, I mean, I believe the numbers are skewed. And like my mom a couple days ago, she's like, oh yeah, I had to go in to the doctor's office to check out my fucking blood rate, whatever. I'm like, did you get a COVID test? She's like, yeah. Came out negative. And I'm like, all right. Did you come back with something? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, did you come back with the sheeple virus? She's like, what is that?
What is that?
Tell her, ask Ella. Ella knows.
What the sheeple virus is? You want to believe everything that's on the fucking mainstream? And she's like, Brian, I love you, but okay, whatever, bye. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Mom, why do you believe all this shit? The numbers are
Yeah,
huge.
be easy on her though. Yeah, it is. It's a disease, cognitive dissonance. That's an actual disease, mental disease that these people get. My mom included, my sisters. Yeah, I don't know if it's the fear that they're addicted to, maybe, that whatever's released, but I don't know. It's weird how you can show them even the official, when they come out and say, hey, we were wrong about this. I've done it 100 times with my mom. See how they were wrong about this? See how they were wrong about this again? See how they were wrong about this?
Yeah, I've tried that. I tried that many times. Yeah.
She gets the flu shot every year. And it's like, Mom, every year you do this. Every year you get sick. And then every year, a few months later, I show you an article that says that they got the whole thing wrong. And it gave more people the flu than it actually helped. But there's something in their brain where, it's heartbreaking, man. It really is. Because they're smart people. My mom is an intelligent person. So it's not just, this doesn't just influence ignorant people. People with high IQs still are afflicted with this disease, this mental disease. Yeah, it sucks. It really does. I've stopped. I just talked to my mom about good, fluffy, happy, put on my rose tinted glasses. I mean, she's 70. There's certain people that aren't going to wake up. I think that may be one of the lessons we're here to see as well.
Yeah,
just because you can think, comprehend it, other people, they're not going to ever do it.
During the whole months I was there with the family and dealing with Mom's health issues and my sister being a respiratory therapist for so many years, which she hasn't been in almost 12 years now. So, 12 years ago, I was a really great guitar player, probably, that kind of thing. So anyway, trying to show her, look, here is the patent for the coronavirus. Here is a doctor saying bullshit, don't wear a mask. It didn't matter what I showed them or her. It didn't matter on any of the trips when my mom was still really cognitive and we were talking about all this stuff when they were trying to understand what the hell I was doing with Flat Earth. It didn't matter because 80 to 90% of their time parked in front of a mind control device. What was it? Patent 6506148. I think that's it. If that's not it, I'm probably wrong. But anyway, yeah, it's out there. There's a patent for mind control right there through your little friendly fun box in the corner. Everybody sit down and watch it more. It's funny. It's got funny people and they do funny stuff. Oh, crap. There's just no hope. I mean, there's no hope, as you say, when intelligent people are mind fucked by the devices that they are hinged to. Wow, that's wow. Ooh, that felt good. Thank you for letting me get that out, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, Walt.
Love a good wall.
What about this, Walt? Do you think like we're now living in a Clockwork Orange world with the
I mean,
MK
the world is that movie is tame by what really is going on around us, and the shit you can watch on TV now, easily found without a problem, or just Google it or go to any other site. I mean, it's not even, that's, like I said, that's tame now, that people can be triggered. We've seen it. I've seen watching some stuff on MK Ultra. Look at the Fanny Bryce book. Hello, Bob Hope. Hello, Tiger Woods. Hello, Al Roker, going into a total mind meltdown when he hears somebody say a certain key phrase. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt about the fact that brain control. We've seen it. It's in front of us. It's presented. It's not even a doubt anymore. So anyway, another mini rant. I'll stop. Go, Brian.
No, keep it going. Like, honestly, okay, with my mom, I'm like, we went out to lunch. She's like, I need a cold water. I'm like, all right, let's go. And she's like, she cracked it open, and she's like, this tastes is funny. And I'm like, yeah, because there's fluoride in that water. She's like, don't start. This has electrolytes. And the first thing that popped in my head, idiocracy.
It's Rondo.
It's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
It's what plants need.
Yeah, and I just dropped the conversation, and I'm like, all right, let's just go. But
maybe you should talk to the water.
Doctor,
go up to him. Do you have fluoride in you? And put your ear up to it. Yeah, it says it's got fluoride in it. Just see what they say. I don't know. Maybe that's part of the key. But that's like using the illusion. I don't like doing that. I don't want to trick people. I want to wake them up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been collecting old images of the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic and all of the different weird face masks and stuff. I've been collecting them. There's some crazy stuff out there.
Nice. Good. Send them to me. I'll make sure to include them in today's show picture so that you all can share. And thank you already. Well, I mean, I guess it's actually late in the show, but thank you to our friend Utility Belch TV, who I think I have a sneaking suspicion I know who that is, for our show title today, Answers for Nothing and Nothing for Answers. Thank you, sir. I like that. I assumed, or ma'am, Utility Belch TV could be a ma'am. My apologies. I didn't want to be sexist or racist or any other ists. Sorry, I'm spitting on the mic. How dare you? I know. How dare me? How dare I?
I've been listening to comedians. Carlin, Bill Burr talk about, when people start thinking that their feelings should never be hurt, what happens to a society. And it's so true. It's happening right now. And for us older people, it doesn't affect us as much, but young people growing up with this as their teenage years and all this stuff, we're breeding a bunch of snowflakes. And
okay,
you can't
honestly,
do that.
Like with Carlin, he was 30 years before.
Oh yeah, his time. Mm-hmm.
And
he knew all this was coming.
He was the first comedian concert I saw ever in Vegas. without doing.
Nice. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, like literally, like me and my ex, like we went to Vegas, and normally we would do the gambling and drinking and some you know, after. But no, like his show, Bill Burr, was fucking funny as shit because it fucking rang the bell in my head and in her head, even though she wasn't a truther. But what he said, she was fucking giggling. You know?
Yeah. I started recently watching F is for Family. And I was watching it, and there was something that just kept ringing familiar watching it. And then about the third episode in, I saw that it was like one of the executive producers or something was Bill Burr. And then that's when everything sort of fell into place. It's sort of like a animated version of like Seinfeld, right?
No doubt. I didn't even know that for some reason, and I really do appreciate his comedic taste for sure.
That's why you'll notice the youngest boy is a little
good.
redhead named Billy.
Ha ha ha. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, shout out to our little cultural corner, and I'll be watching that again because I know there's new ones and I haven't played catch up yet. So nice.
Yeah, it was, I forget, I think it was his dad took him to a football game, and he was out there using the men's urinal all by himself, and it was freaked out with guys pissing next to guys puking in the urinal, and it just how it freaked him out and scarred him as a child. I'm like, why does this sound so familiar? I'm like, I know I've heard this story from somebody somewhere. And then I saw the billboard. I'm like, that's what it is. It was a fucking joke in Bill Burr's stand-up act. That's exactly what it was. And that's how it rang true, was that one particular joke that he did that I saw animated. I'm like, oh, that's what this is. It's like Seinfeld. We just take all the best jokes from the last 5 or 6 sets that he's done and animates them all into a big storyline. But it is interesting that his father is like the main character, not he himself. But I guess it takes place in the 70s, so it's probably just, again, stories from his childhood.
I love how he always tells the oldest son, Kevin, the one who's always messing up, "You're going to do what I tell you, or I'm going to throw you through that fucking wall." Just the way he says it, it's so great. He says it with a nice, calm voice. Yeah, Bill Burr, he is funny. That guy, he's got it down.
You guys ever watched
And
his
I had never really heard of him.
Billy Rap?
Watch what? What's that,
Which
Brian?
one now?
His Billy Rap?
Maybe. That too sounds vaguely familiar.
His epic Philly rant, where he opened up for metal bands, and he totally ripped the city of Philadelphia, even though I love Philadelphia.
Maybe not.
He's like, yeah, you guys love a fake person, talking about Rocky Balboa. I'll send it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Classic.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
I'll have
familiar.
to brush up on some.
Apparently, we've already talked right through the last break.
I just
I
checked that
noticed that.
myself and saw that. I'm like, oh, well, I guess we were really enjoying ourselves. So our apologies to all of our sponsors and all of our great repeated promos. Our apologies.
Yeah, we better pay attention. Otherwise, we'll be on here for 4 hours. Just talking away. Oh, yeah, our show ended 2 hours ago. Interesting.
That'll be this afternoon.
Yeah, I found a nice picture of the Beatles all in face masks. That's pretty interesting.
Really?
Yeah, go check the show prep. I got a bunch of face masks in there, but one article from Bloomberg. Pandemics come and go, but medical masks are eternal. And it shows just some mask wearings throughout history. Thought it was pretty interesting. We did actually have space lettuce.
Yeah, we can dig in. Let's dig it. Let's do it. Hell, we've only got 30 minutes left. Thank you, Brian. You want to dig in some lettuce with us, sir?
Yes, honestly, like I sent a link. I don't know if you guys saw it about a certain person in WWE believes that the Earth is flat, and there's a few other people.
Oh, I'm looking now. From WrestleMania channel, they're on YouTube.
WrestleMania.
Oh, you're right. WrestleMania. Good catch.
But no, I mean, they put out good shit. But okay, AJ Styles, I don't know if you know who he is. He came out and said, yeah, I believe that the Earth is flat. And not like these other sports guys, like, who is it? Kyrie Irving and Shaq had to retract their comments, their statements, you know. But
Well, Kyrie Irving never really backtracked. He just kind of apologized to the teachers for saying it. He never said that the Earth is a ball. He just apologized to the teachers for bringing it up. So he's an intelligent guy, and yeah, he found a way around it without having to actually say, yeah, it's a globe. It's not flat. He never said it wasn't flat. Never said it's a globe. Did apologize for saying it though. Yeah, but Shaq definitely did the flip flop. I think Shaq was never known for his super intellect. I know he's Dr. Shaq and blah 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 blah, psychology or something like that.
He was like, I retract that statement and pay me.
Yeah,
Yep.
the way though.
Well, he's a well-known Mason. I'm sure he's kind of high up there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Even and you don't have to go through all the stuff. You can be an honorary 32nd degree, or I think even 33rd degree.
33rd is only
I know
an
the guys
honorary degree. You can't. It's not. Yeah, 33rd is not something you work up to. Once you go to 32nd, you don't then work to the 33rd. The 33rd is only an honorary degree bestowed upon certain individuals.
And they say the guys who went to the moon supposedly didn't go through it. They were just honorary 33rd degree Masons, whether they went through all the processes to get to 32nd or not. But yeah, they even had a lodge on the moon. Didn't hide it. So yeah, Shaq, I never really took much into what Shaq ever said. Even when he said it was flat, I was like, oh, great. Shaq, yeah, Shaq's on our side. Good. No, I'll get real excited when we get some real physicists, that are highly accredited, start getting papers published in scientific journals now. I think that'll be like one of our next steps, or just throwing the question out there, maybe not saying it.
So we were talking about the litigiousness of society and the issues with trying to mandate face masks and things that are going to possibly pop off with all of this COVID 10T stuff that's going on out there. There's an article here from The Hill. It says New York County issues subpoenas to people refusing to talk to contact tracers. And apparently they're getting fined, or they're legislating a fine of up to like $2,000 every day for a failure to comply. So my wife can look at a picture of somebody with strep throat and catch strep throat. She gets strep throat. That easy. It's usually at least once a year, often probably multiple times a year. So when she started feeling poorly earlier this week, she went to get a strep test, just assuming that that's probably what it was. Her throat was hurting, just kind of a cough and just not feeling real well. So she went, got her strep test, and the strep test came back negative. So they said, we probably need to give you a COVID test. She wasn't really thinking too much about it, but I guess by the time yesterday hit, she'd kind of dwelled on it and had been talking to people and was just starting to get a little bit worried. I said, well, I don't think I think COVID sort of comes on fast. So, if it was going to get bad, it would have already been bad, and I think you're safe. But it wasn't the COVID she was worried about. It was the stigma of getting a positive COVID test and the stigma that that's going to bring. She says, are people going to want to call and talk to me? I said, there's a really good chance. I said, there's a whole bunch of people out there starting up these contact tracing businesses so they can trace these interactions of people that have tested positive with COVID. So she got to reading on the CDC website, and sure enough, she said someone may contact you via phone or in person to ask you about the places you've gone and people with whom you've come into contact. And again, that's one of those things I don't see how they can force you to talk to a contact tracer, force you to give up medical history, medical rights, your information.
No thanks. Have a nice day.
Because apparently it would seem that we, the people, no longer have the right to be secure in our person.
Yep, we do not.
Or, at the very least, no longer have the right to not even be in our person at all. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay. With me, my phone, I have an Android. I did not download this fucking app for the contact tracers, but it's here on my phone. How about you guys?
It's there.
I've looked for it, but I can't find anything that actually says it.
Go to settings and go to Google services. Click Google and it'll pop up. It'll be the very top thing right there at the top of Google services under your options, settings, whatever that little cog is that connects you to all your settings. So when it first came out, I saw it and there was an option. You had to go in there and you could turn it off. And I doubt that it would really turn anything off specifically, just your discernment to think that you're not being tracked regardless. That's the only thing that really turns off. But again, I was talking to Dixie, my wife, who actually her name needs to be another conversation we have because apparently her name is getting to be racist.
Oh, good God.
Oh, yeah.
Well, David Lee Roth isn't David Lee Roth anymore, I guess, because of Robert E. Lee. What the fuck is wrong with people? Please. Oh, I'll turn off my mic now. Sorry.
Yep. Antebellum.
Okay. Well, what about the Dixie Chicks?
Yep. Well, that's just it. My wife's name is Dixie. So the Dixie Chicks are now just the Chicks, which I can't imagine goes good for any sort of women's rights activist. We're just the Chicks. We're just a bunch of girls. You call us Chicks. But yeah, I mean, Dixie, her name is now racist.
Oh, help us. Okay, so I went to check just because I was told about 3 months ago that my phone would not receive any more updates. It's come to the end of its life. We've got new phones to market, and build up on, and your phone is done. We've had it. No more for you. No more updates. And truly, I have not seen the little thing that aggravates me for a week that I keep telling, no, I don't want to update right now. Leave me alone until I wake up and my phone's in the middle of an update, usually right before showtime. So I went to see, just on the off chance that my phone, despite it never seeing an update for it since then, since that time I've been told it will not receive an update, would I have a COVID-19 exposure notification heading under my Google services? I do. And I don't just have it under my, air quote, thing. I have it under every email address that I can go to on my phone has one already in place. And here's the other fun part. They're all turned off. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even know they existed. I have not gone into any settings and changed any freaking thing, but all 6 that I can access on my phone at the moment are currently off by default, which means it's fucking bullshit. The shit's on all the time and you can't do anything because they surely are not going to give it to you turned off. Why would they give it to me if they didn't want to track me with it? So, welcome to your new world order.
Yeah, I think that's the big catch that they're trying to pawn it off as. You really, to make this work, you need to have a third-party app, a third-party contact tracing app that works in conjunction with this COVID-19 tracing app with Google. So just the Google standalone doesn't do anything, apparently, is the party line. You need that third-party app. But I don't believe any of that horse shit. Oh, and for those of you that thought NASA would be going to Mars soon, it turns out, they got to delay their trip to Mars.
This darn pandemic.
What was that, Zach?
Can just wow.
Right.
Can we just go back to the moon?
We sure can go back to the moon. No, wait.
No,
Are we doing
did.
2024?
Japan's been there, China, Europe. I mean, ESA, whatever they're called. India dropped some space cows or something on the moon. Didn't they spill the space cows? What was it?
They were
water monkeys. I don't know. I think that was the sea monkeys. They dropped sea monkeys on the moon.
Bastards.
Nope. Apparently, the Perseverance rover. The Perseverance rover and its associated mission will cost about $3 billion. But they've been forced to delay the launch, leading to fears that it might miss the launch window entirely. The launch has been pushed back to the 30th of July at the very earliest, the space agency announced, leaving it with only half of the expected launch window. Who'd have thunk it?
Does it have a $23 million toilet seat on it?
I don't think on just the rover.
Is that what it costs so much?
No, I think the $23 million is only for the ISS toilet. It doesn't work on Mars, and it doesn't work on the moon. It only works on the ISS.
So they would need a new toilet seat.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had to come up with a new toilet seat.
That's the contest they're having, so you can design a better pooper for the moon that you get like a couple grand. I think.
Grand. Uh-huh.
So
yeah. $23 million for a seat on the ISS, but if you want to design an entire toilet for the moon, they'll give you a couple grand. Woo! Thanks, NASA.
How dare you?
Yeah. How dare you? That's my taxpayers' money for you not doing shit.
How dare you?
What else we got going on? Oh. We can go back to the moon. And apparently the moon is more metallic than previously believed.
Yeah! Oh, sorry. Wait, not that kind of metallic.
Turns out that a team of researchers at NASA who were hunting for ice inside of the polar craters made an unexpected finding that researchers could help clear up some of the mystery behind the moon's formation. Because as of right now, it is a complete and utter mystery, and they have no idea how or why or where the moon formed.
Wait, what? Now, come on. It's 2020 or 2020, however you want to say it, and we don't know how the moon got there or what it's made of, what it does. I mean, come on. I thought we'd been there 8, 10, 15, 25 times. We got sea monkeys up there now, and we don't know about the moon. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the researchers are members of the Miniature Radio Frequency, Mini RF Instrument Team on the NASA Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, NLRO. Researchers found evidence that the subsurface of the moon might be more abundant in metals such as iron, and titanium than previously believed. Researchers say that the discovery could aid in drawing a clear connection between the Earth and the moon. Substantial evidence points to the moon being a product of collision between a Mars-sized protoplanet and a young Earth. Researchers say that the collision is a reason why the moon's bulk chemical composition closely resembles that of Earth. Sorry, that was not an intentional press. But the chemical composition closely resembles that of Earth.
Is that why all the rocks that come from the moon are petrified wood?
There we go. You're getting there, Zach. I think you can build a toilet for the moon. You keep being sciencey like that.
Oh, here we go. However, when the moon's chemical composition is looked at in detail, things get murky. In the bright lanes of the moon's surface, known as Lunar Highlands, the rocks contain smaller amounts of the metal-bearing minerals compared to Earth. However, the darker planes of the moon, known as Maria, have more metals than many of the rocks on Earth. That discrepancy has puzzled scientists. I guess not much left here. The Mini RF team has found a pattern that could be an answer to the mystery. The team noted that the dielectric constant, a number comparing the abilities of a mineral and the vacuum of space to transmit electric fields, increased with crater size. Let me try that again. The Mini RF team found a pattern that could be the answer to the mystery. The team noted that the dielectric constant, a number comparing the abilities of a mineral and the vacuum of space to transmit electric fields, increased with crater size. Interesting. For craters that were 1 to 3 miles wide, the dielectric constant steadily increased as the craters grew larger. For craters 3 to 12 miles wide, the property remained constant. The team says that meteors that form larger craters dig deeper into the moon's subsurface, increasing the dielectric constant of the dust in larger craters. It could be the result of the impact excavating iron and titanium oxides. This would mean that the only first few hundred meters of the surface of the moon is low in iron and titanium oxides, but under the surface is a wealth of the metals.
Did you say that was the Highlander area of the moon?
I did.
There can be only one.
Yeah, if you're talking about electricity and the electric field, it's going to be higher at higher elevations, especially when you have like points, like the sharp edge of a crater. That's where your electric field is going to be strongest. That's just how electricity works. And inside the crater, it'll be real negative where it arcs the other way. It would be more of a negative in there. And then at the edge, it would be real. All of that energy would trying to be dissipating from those points.
The iron you need to get what you want.
Thank you, Nemo.
We got 3 minutes left
Holy
on
geez.
TFR.
You're kidding. We did not do a show.
Well, yeah, that's
Okay, well,
That's
that's
a
true.
accurate
But we didn't eat up 2
description.
hours not doing a show, did we really? Wow. All right. Well, then, you should come hang out with us this afternoon in about 12 hours. Well, 11 or 13? Which way?
11.
11, yeah. So in about 11 hours, come over here, the same flat channel, same flat time. No, it'll be 11 hours from now on the YouTube channel. But will we be streaming over all of these awesome places?
We should be. Sorry,
We should be.
just
so
looking
look
at the
for us wherever
masquerade.
you're seeing us right now. You look right there again. If you're looking at us on Facebook, boom, right there. Twitter, Periscope, boom. Twitter, Periscope. YouTube, that's easy. We're always there on Friday afternoon. Where else? Twitch. Hey, Twitchers, Twitchies, we're there. New stuff. We'll game. I'll even play a game this afternoon if that'll help you Twitch people really want to come hang out. Because I like games.
I really like the mask you made, Walt. That's awesome.
You see that? Oh,
I do.
You got it. Okay, I didn't know if anybody got it. Yeah, I figured I had it already sitting there. I just couldn't get it to save, and finally I realized what I had done and fixed it. So.
No, I liked it. That's good shit.
Thank you. Well, it'll be in the description then, as will I'll just link the store. You will see our Iron Realm Media plug. Teespring store. You can go get your mask or send it to a special friend who needs a mask or just wants to live in a mask. That person that's that special for you, you can send them one. And if you have a special idea or design, ironrealmedia@gmail.com is how you find us.
Heck yeah, we'll design it for you. We'll put you one up there.
Okay, well, I'm still waiting for the sweater.
The sweater is hot, man. I thought I did a sweatshirt. I did a sweatshirt for you. I did do a sweatshirt. I just couldn't do it. I don't knit very well. Now Zack could probably get you a sweater going, but I'm not the sweater person. Wow, we're almost out of time. Okay, I'm gonna say I love you guys, and I'll see you all this afternoon. And I'm gonna shut up and let you all say the same thing.
Take care, all. Love ya.
Love you guys. Brian, thanks so much for hanging out with us this morning. We appreciate you calling in.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Brian. Thank you, man. Love you so much. Thank you.
Love.
Hopefully it was something good.
I enjoyed it at the very least.
I love you guys.
Love you, Brian.
Just know that.
I love you.
And make sure everybody joins us this afternoon, kicking off maybe 4:30 Central, probably 5-ish at the latest, for Have No Sphere, where we'll have Roxanne Glenn and Mamacita on for the first couple hours. And the second couple hours, we are going to have Red Fox and the Great Baldini on. So you can be sure that that's going to be probably no less than 4 hours of good, entertaining talk.
Shit. 5.
If we're lucky. We've been trying to keep them down relatively small, 2.5, 3 hours, but again, on a double-booked week like we've done again this week, I don't know that we'll be able to keep it short. But I think we are through the end of the show on TFR and bleeding over now into YouTube. So we'll just go ahead and cut this stream off. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us this morning. And we shall see you right back here this afternoon over Truth Frequency next week, Tuesday and Friday, every Tuesday and Friday, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Central. That's 10 a.m. to noon Greenwich Mean Time. That's the Ironworks, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. God damn it, that's not the one I wanted. That's twice I've done that. See, the problem is that's 5, and I really need to press the F5, and I just get too excited.
You're listening to the Ironworks on TFR.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. For you.
Not for me, okay?
Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are aware, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset,
we are striving
Start taking today.